Storytelling isn't a gift anymore. It's a drug, a heavy synthetic chemical we inject daily just to numb the ache of being alive. We are completely overdosing on lore, using giant piles of corporate text as an anesthetic so we don't have to look at the living flesh right in front of us. Lately, I feel like a pissed off 16-year-old atheist again. Look at the church, the history, the whole machinery, the big book, just the first wave of the supplier. A Sky Daddy band-aid slapped over deep, bloody social wounds. A neat little trick for social control. We take the howling mess of reality, throw a cage of scripture on it, and call it holy. My sister tried to find the silver lining. She told me the Bible's a landmark. It's a pile of old yarns. Yeah, but folks can dig into them. If two strangers have nothing in common, they can gossip about the big book and build a bridge, right? Sure. I used to think collective tales were the ultimate glue. But what are we gluing together? Now I just think they're a shared addiction. They keep us hooked on the supply. Look at what happens when we outgrow the old church. The addiction doesn't die. We traded monotheism for Marvel characters. We swapped the bones of the saints for comic book collectibles. WWE soap operas, celebrity dirt, and let's not forget internet rabbit holes. And what's behind this? We've let fake multi-million-dollar world building distract us from building, my generation, Gen Y. We're having difficulty building our lives in the physical world, getting stable jobs and houses. This multi-million-dollar world building has taken over our own lived truth. Now, I am a little new age, a little spiritual. I've experienced sitting down at a bar talking about my birth chart, your birth chart. Oh, let's compare. What's your favorite tarot card? Mine's the star. Yours is the goddess. Oh, cool. What's that archetype mean to you? And then hours later, it's like, I didn't actually get your anything about what you do. What do you do again? Wait, should we have made plans to meet up and go to the park? Maybe do like a family picnic, get both of our families together, build some community. Maybe there's a business idea there we could have done. But I don't even know what you like to do in your spare time because all I've been interested in is our mutual fantasy. The shared story was just the screen we used to hide our actual faces from each other. And I don't like that. So in the past, I can remember my grandparents, like Appalachian folks, and they'd make up stories and have mythos, but it was something that they made up, usually on the fly. Usually it sucked. But it was their own story. And I just think of, you know, what would my parents do as grandparents? They're not, but if they were or are, would they talk about how the new Star Wars got stuff so wrong from when they were kids, and how this is wrong and this piece of lore is inaccurate and this and this? I'd hope not. It kind of seems like we are not even birthing our own myths anymore. We are renting out space in a corporate sandbox in order to express ourselves. And then try asking someone, how's your day going? Nobody answers with the truth, right? It's actually posed as it's impolite to answer with how you actually feel, right? No one says, my heart feels heavy, or I'm drowning in a quiet stillness. They will say, oh, my day was good. I watched so and so. And this is what's happening. Thanks, but that wasn't my question. You're just reading a press release from inside your cage. And I seem to breed a specific kind of friend. Maybe this is more common with the horror, sci fi, true crime geeks. And we will have great conversations, dark talks about our grief and trauma and what these stories say about it and all this. But then the second I bring up my media, old frontier tales, what local plants can be harvested and dried, and old folk myths, they hit a wall. This is a story about a butterfly. There's no one got kidnapped, really. Like, no one had like a tense relationship with their father, or they hit a wall. If it doesn't have flashy, fast-paced psychological torture or synthetic gore or real gore, they think it's boring. That is pure desensitization. The drug has ruined our tolerance. We are so hooked on synthetic violence and endless fictional timelines or true crime timelines that we have lost our stomach for the quiet, heavy reality of the earth. So let's be real for a second. If you cannot sit alone in the deep woods or on the floor of your apartment thinking about your thoughts, thinking about your grief, or whatever comes up, if you can't think about that and still want to get up the next day, make yourself a healthy meal, exercise, do all the things that you need to do to live long and prosper, as, what is it, Star Trek says, then that heavy media you're consuming, the horror that helps you deal with your trauma, the superhero with a tragic orphan backstory that somehow still gets up every day, exercises, makes a good meal. Is that media really helping you deal with your trauma? Or is it a distraction? A screen to hide behind? I think you know my answer. When you fill your brain with corporate lore, you forget that one of your jobs on this earth is to create your own story. You have to forge a language out of your own eyesight, your own hands, and your own dirt. And you have to be able to look at that to create that language. Your life, your actual boring day, is the only true myth you have any authority to speak on. What gives you the right to say someone's story was wrong? It's just a story. Even the Bible, even the Quran, it's a story, right? So every hour you spend criticizing, or if you love it, every hour you spend memorizing every detail, the map of this false kingdom, that is an hour stolen from the room you are actually trapped in. And the room for many millennials like me is small enough. Okay? We don't need more corporate lore to blindfold us from the person sitting across from us. Kick the habit. Turn off the screen. Look at each other and tell a story that you have the authority to tell. And that's your story.